Hey everybody, welcome to the F-Parts Chronicles. This is my channel where I walk you through the adventures of two different groups playing through the Lost Mines of Phandelver. This is the 6th episode in that series. This is the story of the 6th session of both the groups. This is a part where the story diverges a lot. So first we will talk about the War Hamsters. They had a relatively quiet session, and I think this session could be, if it were a longer session, we have only been playing 2-hour sessions. If we were playing a longer session, this could be classified as a slog. So previously, the War Hamsters had taken Sister Gorail's quest, went to Coneyberry, parlayed with the Banshee Agatha, found out what she did with Bowgentle's spell book, and then they came back. The previous session was really nice. They talked to Sister Gorail, told her what they found out about Bowgentle's spellbook, and collected their rewards. I don't remember what the real reward was in the book, but it was kind of boring, so I changed it to 2 potions of greater healing and a potion of invisibility. They also, just a reminder, in the previous session, they had fought the Red Brand ruffians and captured one of them. Her name was Trelniva. They had questioned her, figured out what they needed to know about their hideout, which is the Tresendar Manor, and had basically tied her up and left her in the stables of the Stonehill Inn. This time, after talking to Sister Gorail, they return to the inn, they go to find their prisoner, and find out she is dead and dismembered. I mean, literally her head, hands, and legs have been cut off. A close inspection of the body revealed that it was a ritualistic murder. There was a symbol of a black spider cut onto her chest. Those wounds did not bleed, which means they were posthumous, ritualistic. This was a symbol. This was a warning they were sending to anyone who might dare to betray the great black spider. Upon finding this, they go talk to their friends Gundren and Sildar. They're not Gundren and Sildar. They're 2 doppelgangers who were just casually mentioned in the Lost Mine of Phandelver and done nothing with. I was, of course, not going to let that slip. I was going to use the doppelgangers. So Sildar and Gundren have, they don't, been kidnapped by the Red Brands and are being held prisoners in the Tresendar Manor, and these 2 doppelgangers have taken their place and are trying to earn the trust of the heroes. Their plan? Take them to the Tresendar Manor, get a numerical majority, and kill them. Good stuff. So the party talks and plans with the fake Gundren and fake Sildar, and the Doppelgundren and the Doppeldar. Yeah. So Doppelgundren and Doppeldar lead them to the Tresendar hideout. In the book it says that most of the castle is now destroyed and dilapidated. There's a way to find a staircase down to the cellar, and that's where the Red Brands are hiding. They find the staircase. There was a couple of lookouts, which I think Ellie, the gnome wizard, and Keth, the half-orc rogue, disposed of quite easily. It didn't take much. So they go down. They open these double doors, walk into the cellar, and the room is empty. There's no one there. There's a small fountain. The fountain contains a treasure that they never found, because this group, the War Hamsters, they're mostly new players, and they don't know that they need to loot every single body that they massacred. It's just a given. You just do it as when you're a D&D adventurer. They don't do that, so they often don't find the treasure. Sometimes I have to force them to go poke at the dead body so that they will find some treasure. Anyway, back to the story. There is a door on the other side. Keth, the rogue, goes to the door and opens it, and out comes 2 Red Brand ruffians. They attack, and at this time, Krem, the Tiefling cleric, and Turquoise, the Dragonborn paladin, get daggers plunged to their backs by the Doppelgundren and the Doppeldar. A fight breaks out, and this fight was supremely unsatisfactory. It was one of those rare situations, rare combinations of rolls and numbers where literally nobody could hit each other. Like, the bad guys would all attack and roll 2, 3, 5, and 7 and miss. The good guys will attack and roll 3, 4, 1, and 2 and miss. So this went on for a long time, and then they managed to kill them. The players, by the way, really hated that they were betrayed and manipulated and tricked by the Doppelgundren and the Doppeldar. But as they're congratulating themselves after the slog of a fight, the secret door opens on the other side. Oh, DM tip. I had a feeling that these people would not search the cellar. They would kill the two people who were obviously there and just give up and think that they're done clearing out the manor. Or maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, I wasn't taking a risk. So when it looked like the battle was going against the Red Brands, one of the Red Brands started fleeing towards that corner, which made Krem, the Tiefling cleric, go, "Oh, I bet there's a secret door there." That worked. You know, when you are in doubt if the players will pick up the secret door or not, or if they will find the treasure or not, hint that there's something in that corner. I did not hint towards the treasure hidden in the fountain, because that I don't think was necessary for the adventure completion, but this was necessary. They needed to find the secret door. As they're discussing whether to go through the secret door or not, the secret door opens and an eye monster walks in. Nothing. And that's where that session ended. I'm sorry there was not a lot to tell, because the session was mostly a lot of discussion about what to do and planning about how to go about doing it. I don't think the plan really came into play, but that's not the point of any plan. Like, plans are useless, but the act of planning is everything. So I encourage planning. That was a good session, but not much of a story. Now, moving on to the Red Wedge Pact. This was an action-packed session. The Doppelgondren and the Doppeldar that they had rescued previously from the Red Brands, get together and tell them that, hey, these people are also looking for the Wave Echo Caves, the Lost Mine of Phandelver. We need to beat them to the punch. It's a race. We need to get to the caves. Well, how do we get to the caves? We don't have a map, they say. But I remember where the entrance to the cave was, says Doppelgondren. It was under a ruined tower in the ruins of Thunder Tree. People who know this adventure knows where this is going. In that ruined tower in Thunder Tree lives a green dragon, Venomfang. The plan? Get these people out there to the tower, get them killed by dragon while the doppelgangers flee. The heroes are gone, their hands are not dirty. So they travel to Thunder Tree. The night before, they camp about, in the outskirts of the ruins. And I've been really enjoying introducing some little encounters during the night, which doesn't really mean much. You don't have to do anything. There's no fight. There's no negotiations or anything. It just happens, which makes the world feel lively. For instance, there was this one time when the war hamsters were taking a long rest in the Cragmaw hideout, and the rogue rolled, or the cleric, one of them, rolled really high on their perception when they were keeping watch. And I described it as they hear howls of wolves and breaking of iron chains, and then footsteps splashing through water fading out into the distance. It was basically just an implication that the wolves who were in this area of the hideout, they escaped. That was it. But it spooked them. It was interesting. It made the world feel alive. It helped with verisimilitude. Camping outside the ruins of Thunder Tree when they are keeping watch, I described that one of them sees a herd of very big animals grazing in the field near them. These are just aurochs. They're not attacking them. They're not about to stampede on them or anything. They're just grazing peacefully. When the next one is on their watch, he also rolls very high on his perception check, and I wanted to give him something. So I decided Venomfang is out hunting. He's very silent. In the death of night, captures one of the aurochs and flies back to his tower. And as he's flying back, I describe the player who's keeping watch. He's just mesmerized by the fire that they have lit to stay warm. And, fire has a very mesmerizing visage, for want of a better word. As he's staring there, he sees sudden sparks and steam coming out of it. He looks around and he sees a small patch of blood right next to it. The implication is that as Venomfang was flying over with his prey, some blood splatter dropped from the sky onto the fire. He woke everybody up. They couldn't figure out what the hell is going on due to some terrible rolls. Everybody woke up the next morning, found some more small blood splatter all around. They spent a long time trying to figure out what it is. Can't, due to some terrible rolls. So they decide, urged by Doppelgondren and Doppeldar, to go to the tower. They go to the tower. I described that there's a lot of soil and eons of debris and dust on the bottom floor, and Gondren says they have to dig through it to get anywhere. As they're digging through it, the trapdoor that leads up, the door is now gone. It's just a hole in the ceiling. Ting, 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 ting. A small gold piece falls down. Donvo, the Goliath fighter, decides to go up the stairs and check what's happening. And as he's going up, as he's close and about to peek into the second floor of the tower, he's just showered by gold and silver and platinum. A long serpentine neck covered in green scales, and there is Venom Fang. Doppelgundren and Doppeldar bring out 2 scrolls of invisibility, read it, go invisible, run away. The rest of the party are now fighting Venom Fang. I thought that not in a million years can the Red Wedge Pact kill Venom Fang. The fight breaks out. Rosanna, the human bard, runs away and hides. Luth, the human wizard, and Vondal, the dwarven cleric, are running for their lives. Donvo, the Goliath fighter, runs away and yells insults at Venom Fang to draw his wrath towards himself and save his friends. But he hides successfully, so the dragon can't find him, and in his anger, the dragon breathes on Luth and Vondal. Luth goes unconscious. Vondal is barely hanging on to dear life. Then Donvo comes out of his hiding place again and throws more insult and drags Venom Fang's attention towards him. He runs around the building behind some trees. Venom Fang flies over the building and lands right in front of him, giving vital time to Luth and Vondal to heal themselves and go hide in a building. Donvo, I think Donvo's character by now has given up hope for life. They have just accepted their fate. And he raises his huge glaive and brings it down on Venom Fang and rolls a nat 20. Yeah. Does a colossal amount of damage because he added his superiority die to it. So still the situation is really bad. Because, one big hit on a young green dragon is not that bad from a 3rd level character. I roll to see if he gets his breath weapon back, and Venom Fang does not get his breath weapon back. I roll to see if his attacks land, and I roll a 7, a 4, and a 2. They miss. Donvo, the Goliath fighter, raises his huge glaive again and brings it down on Venom Fang's neck and rolls a nat 20. Again. Okay, now Venom Fang is looking a little scared, because he has taken some damage, and wow, he is not being able to hit this guy. So this time, I roll on the breath weapon again, and it does not recharge. Okay, still has 3 attacks. Makes 3 attacks, hits 3 times, brings Donvo down to 2 hit points. Then Rosanna comes out of her hiding place and casts a 2nd level healing ward on Donvo. Maybe he can survive another round, maybe not. He gets his turn. He brings up his glaive and brings it down on Venom Fang and rolls the 3rd nat 20 in a row. And Venom Fang is dead. Yeah, that really happened. My 3rd level PCs killed a young green dragon. With 3 nat 20s in a row and dumping 3 superiority dice in it, they killed a bloody green dragon. They regroup, basking in the glory of dragon killing, when 2 daggers plunge in the backs of Donvo and Luth. The fake Sildar and fake Gundren are right there, about to attack them, and Luth, or run by my friend Theron, just sighs, looks super irritated and says, "These jerks." I have to beep that out. A fight ensues, and once again the players are doing really well, even though they just got beaten and bruised by this dragon. It was a night that I could not roll well. So Doppelgundren and Doppelsildar just run away. So after that, the Red Wedge Pact goes up to the tower, goes through the treasure trove of Venom Fang. I don't think it is mentioned in the adventure like what can be found in his hoard, so I opened up the DMG and asked them to roll on the random treasure table, and they got a portable hole and a periapt of wound closure. As they're resting, they get their short rest, they hear footsteps on the stairs. As they yell out, they see a druid, a clearly old elven druid, who walks up to them slowly and says, "They have taken Carp." They have taken the innkeeper's son. He asks for help. And that's where that session ended, guys. The most dramatic, unexpected thing happened in that session. Like, I'm sure there are stories, but I've never heard of a story where 4 third-level characters in Lost Mine of Phandelver killed Venomfang. How does that happen? Why does that happen to me? I guess because I can't roll. It is just frustrating. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, guys. Thank you so much, and until next time, that's all, folks.